and common sense collide. Starring the CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader. Welcome to Debate Crypto. Question everything, trust nothing. It's your boys, CryptoKeeper and BlockchainCrusader, and we've got a special guest in the house tonight. I'm going to give you his real name first, and I'm going to tell you what I like to call him. We've got Brock McBlockchain in the house. I like to call him Brock McFish Tank. That is my nickname for Brock. Brock, how you doing this evening?
Hey, pretty good. How's everybody going?
We are happy to have you on here. We're going to dive into Brock. Miguel, how you doing, bro?
Doing good, man. I'm excited. Talk about NFTs, having Brock on here. Let's do it.
Heck yeah, let's have some fun. Crypto fam, if you are not in the Discord, make sure that you jump in there. We're going to be doing a giveaway tonight. Brock has been so kind as to give away 5 of his Feeshes tonight, and you have to not already hold one. So if you already hold one, you're going to be disqualified. I apologize. We're trying to get new people into the ecosystem. He wants to introduce new people, which I totally understand. So we're going to have some fun with that. So make sure that you're in the Discord. We're going to be doing a giveaway bot over there. We're going to be picking 5 people after Brock explains what his project is all about. And then we're going to dive into an NFT discussion tonight. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Just everybody make sure that when you go into the Discord, you go into the giveaway channel and you react with the little celebration emoji, not any other emoji. It will not count. Make sure you are reacting with the proper emoji to be entered for the win.
Just the celebration emoji. Before we dive into it, let's just check on the crypto markets real quick and let you guys know where things are. I know you come here for crypto. Also, if you're looking for TA prior to the stream, 5:45 until 7:30. We've got your boy, Frankie Candles, over on BitBoy Crypto. Make sure you guys check him out. All right, so let me update this real quick. Make sure we're good here. Crypto market is up 0.21% at $1.74 trillion with a T. We're pretty flat. Bitcoin at 38,676, up a little bit over 0.39%. We've got ETH up over a little bit over 1% right now at 28.68. Pretty much flat, guys. I don't need to go through and run through each one of these. We've got everything from 0 to down 0.01 to up 1.1. You guys know how it goes. When Bitcoin is flat, the rest of the market seems to be pretty flat. So that's what it is. Let's dive into some NFTs. So, Brock, again, thank you for coming on, brother. We do appreciate having you on. Talk to me about tell us about your project and how it came up. Actually, hold on, back up. Tell us about you. Who are you? What do you got going on? And how'd you come into the crypto/NFT space?
Yeah, my name is Brock McBlockchain, and I've been a developer for 20 some odd years. Got into AR, VR, and then saw blockchain, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty exciting. So started combining the two together, kind of seeing that metaverses were on the horizon several years ago. Once NFTs had kind of come about, that I knew that would unlock a bunch of new things. And so I've just been really spending time in the emerging space, crypto and just normal tech at the same time for decades. And I'm just really excited about where this is all going. So that's
dope, dude. Would you call yourself an early adopter into the crypto space, or?
Well, I've heard that we're all early, so
that's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
You're never late.
Yeah, exactly. If you're getting in now, you are still early. That's actually a really good point. So I got to ask, because I know people are going to ask that haven't seen you before.
Sure.
Why the mask?
There's a rumor that I'm a bred cat from space, and so humans can't understand. So I wear this mask so that they don't lose their minds, I think is usually what I say.
All right. Well,
very normal individual. That's
yeah. Yep. I hear it. First time I saw you on an interview, I looked at the mask and I was like, this dude's about to jump off the top rope and drop an elbow on somebody. I love it.
I think it's good to always be ready for a top rope dive. Yep.
Right. I love it. So talk to us about your NFT project, man. What is the project? Where can people find it? And kind of walk me through how it came to be, because I think it's super interesting what you're doing.
Sure. Yeah. So it's called Feeshes, and it's Feesh.
And if you do want to share I didn't mean to cut you off, but if you do want to share your screen for anything, Brock, let us know. You can do it. It's right down below the video. Just letting you know, no pressure. Just wanted to tell you.
And so I appreciate that. It's feeshes.com, and that's where you can go to mint. We're still minting now. Try to make it super, super approachable. For me, it was never really about the money. It's more about pushing the envelope of what an NFT can be. And so, anyway, taking a step back of like, why did I do this? Like all good things, someone said something on the internet that I disagreed with. They said that NFTs weren't real because you couldn't touch them. And I was like, that's silly. Like what? Of course you can't physically touch them, but that's like saying your emails don't count, or your electronic like hospital bills aren't real and you don't have to pay them because you don't print them out anymore or whatever. So I took that idea and flipped it on its head. And I was like, what's the quickest way that I can get someone to kind of care? Or because what if I instead of it touching you, what if you could touch it through your heart, right, or through your emotions? And so I was like, well, I could make like a fish, and then people could start to develop feelings. And instead of just making it so, say, here's your avatar, if you will, it should be able to swim around, and you should be able to make a tank and then customize your tank. So immediately I developed all this stuff to where you mint an actual fish. You can drop it in your fish tank, and you can customize the lights, the ground, all these accessories that I give you out of the bat. And then also, how can I take that even further? Because I just wanted to, my goal at that point was, how can I give the most value felt out of it? So when you mint a Feeshe, when we kicked off back in November, it was 12 months of airdrops. And so I'm making additional airdrops that you get. And instead of having just an airdrop where it's, oh, hooray, I got a picture, each airdrop actually has utility built into it where you can drop it into your tank. Or maybe it's a part of a treasure map.
Do you have to mint the tank first? Is that how it starts, or what's that look like?
So again, I could have monetized the shit out of this, but I think that's silly. So instead, you mint a Feeshe. That's your ticket to ride for 1 year of content. When we sell out, it will extend to 2 years, but then everything else is free. Everything. So you can make unlimited tanks. So you can have a tank that's like bright green and like really, really chill, and then, or you can make like a really like vibrant red tank or whatever to have different moods. And then you can cast those to your television or pull them up on a second screen while you're working and enjoy having a fish tank. But you don't have to clean it. You don't have to feed them, because obviously I've included magic water, which is how fish eat and survive. So there's no feeding them. All the nonsense of having a fish is just not part of this project. But then I just kind of teased today, I'm airdropping all kinds of things. And sometimes it's like something that just sits in the tank. Last month, I gave away like a lucky cat clock that sits in your tank, and it actually tells real time. And then I dropped way back in November a television set that you can actually put an NFT inside of the television and then have that, or a GIF if you don't have any NFTs. So NFT inside of an NFT that I just gave away for free. And yeah, so it's just been a wild ride. And so your tanks keep getting more and more, but beyond that, there's a level of lore and storytelling. And so your fish actually send emails, because of course they do. And that slowly unrolls the story. And we've had everything from the fish becoming telepathic to opening up portals, because if you could only afford one fish, I thought that would be kind of a poor user experience, because it's more fun with more Feeshe. And so I wanted to make it approachable by having the price low, but also how can I get all the fish experience with only having one? Obviously, portals open up on the side of the tanks, and some fish will travel from other tanks into yours. And that just happens. Yeah, normal stuff. But that was a side effect. As a side effect of the portals, that alerted the fish became telepathic, and they started sending emails to us. And most of the time they call me stupid. I don't know if that happens to everybody else. But then these giant robots, we found out, started coming and attacking people. And so the Feeshe now, this very week, a game is rolling out in real life. But in the story, the Feeshe have built these mech suits that they go inside of, and they can battle each other. And so that's going live. If you have a Feeshe, you're entered into the beta that will be rolling out this Thursday. Again, completely free if you have a Feeshe. And there's just a lot of stuff. I'm leaving. Oh, we're also all executive movie producers, because you can. I'm producing a complete musical album about the project. So just the whole thing is about how far can I push this to the point of like ridiculousness of giving a ticket to ride, a journey. I really see that NFTs could be the unlock for content. So instead of paying Netflix for whatever a month, you spend like $100 in Ethereum and you get a year's worth of content, where the tanks might have surprise and delight random stuff. So for March Madness, there was a basketball and a tournament that happened with the Feeshe. Stuff will just grow out of your tank. somebody's tank was smashed with like the glass and everything. Like it just, you never know what's going to happen.
So I got a quick question about what your project. Before I ask you the question, I just want to remind everybody that the giveaway is happening. Jump into the Discord. We've only got 17 people so far reacting. We got 22 people watching, and we've got almost 500 people in the Discord. So if you don't want to miss out on winning the opportunity to get a Feeshe, definitely go react on that. So my question is, right, I see all this, you're talking about all this utility in your project.
Yeah.
Is there any possible way that we can have like a Feeshe wrestling match happen and then, you know, have like a burning effect where if you lose, you kind of like the only one will survive.
Your
like
fish
like
dies.
WrestleMania to like the death. Like
so
match.
The game is literally 2 mechs that Feeshe are actually inside the mech suits. You can see them in the little glass domes they've built, and they battle each other. And if you have a Feeshe, you get 5 free ranked matches a day. Otherwise, you have to pay another cryptocurrency to do it. That whole entire token, though, it's basically the game's play to earn, and we can get into that, but I don't want to like kind of just info dump on everything. So wrestling match to the death, probably not. It's interesting that you say death though, because I wanted to create this emotional attachment.
Oh yeah, don't yours die?
Yes. And so your fish could die, because I thought, how crazy could it be for this thing that is not real because you can't touch it, if you can say, I remember the day that my NFT died, right? But because I want to get the most value, maybe when your fish dies, that's not the end. Maybe something crazier happens.
Is it time triggered? Is it death by time, or is it death by just like random occasion, or is it like death by invader from?
He could tell you, but he'd have to kill you.
No, I don't want to kill anybody. But I mean, it's obviously favoritism. So the more people that are nice to me, they're fish that. No, I'm just kidding. They're baked into when the moment that you mint them, a random date is selected. Some people's Feeshe will never die. Other people's Feeshe will have an expiration date, and they're all masked right now, so no one knows when it's going to happen. And so, what starts off very, very simple is like it's fish that fly around or that swim around, turns into like insanity, and it's this big entertaining journey.
Are you doing the coding?
I've done 100% of the project is me. Art, developing, everything is me. The only things that I've done is the album. I couldn't get studio time, so I had a producer, a friend of mine, create the album. So that's being recorded right now. And then I had a friend who's an animator make me something that's for something later down the line that will be dropping.
That's so wild. I think that, you know, I like what you're doing from a standpoint that it's pushing boundaries, because when I hear you talk about this, it's not okay. So we're trying to push boundaries with our NFT project, and we're trying to push boundaries from the real world utility side of things. From what I'm hearing from you, you're pushing boundaries for like, what can we make an NFT actually be and do? Correct. And how creative can I get? I mean, you're talking about portals coming from tank to tank. We're talking about NFTs that possibly die. So like when you have your tank pulled up, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, where did my angelfish go? Oh, well, it must have died, right? I just think it's super freaking cool. The game, let me ask you this. You mentioned play to earn. That's one of the biggest things in the crypto space, or I should say it's moving towards being a huge thing in the crypto space. What does the play to earn game look like? Where can people find it? I know you said it's going to be the beta is out, but what's that kind of looking like?
Yeah. Good question. So this Thursday, again, if you have a Feeshe, you can show up. Feeshecord.com is a quick link to our Discord.
What is a Feeshe? What?
Feeshe cord, like Discord.
Feeshe
cord. Anyway, so you can jump in there and there'll be instructions, and then live chat for people to talk shit to each other, because that's part of it. And then the game starts off very simple. You have mech versus mech, and then the Feeshe, they have fin hands, so they can't obviously pilot these mech suits, but they're in there because that's logic. And so you will have 3 choices of buttons. One is attack, one's block, and one's repair. And so at any point you can choose what you would like to do. And the other player, because it's player versus player, can do the same thing. So it's like rock, paper, scissors, but it's also like tug of war. If you took tug of war and rock, paper, scissors and combine them, you would have basically the core mechanics of the game. And so you can battle the other person and try and take their health down to 0. Or the flip side, you can actually overheal or repair beyond your base health to double your base health. So you're constantly kind of in this tug of war match where you're trying to outplay the other person until either double your health from the base health or take them to 0. and that's how you win. And it starts off very simple because rock, paper, scissors. How hard could it be? And it turns into mind games on top of mind games.
So tell me what beats what. So does attack?
So if you attack and I block, your attack will bounce off what I've blocked and hit yourself. So you take
so
self
defense
damage.
wins on that. Okay, so the block beats attack. Okay,
Yep.
what's that?
And if I'm blocking and you repair, obviously I'm standing there blocking nothing while you repair yourself. So repair beats block.
Repair is
and
gonna,
then if I'm trying to repair myself and you attack, then you hit me because I'm trying to repair just I get clocked in the face.
Dude, I don't know what you put in your Wheaties in the morning, but I need some of it. I think I
intermittently fast, so I don't eat breakfast.
That's the key right there.
Yes.
Yeah,
Cold showers, intermittent fast, and you can have your Feeshe ecosystem. But you mentioned play to earn, and so again, my whole thing. I've been lucky enough to be some people's first NFT. I've been lucky enough to be someone's first NFT outside of like the VV space. That's just a true honor. And so through this whole project, being a developer, I try and level up everyone's kind of level of comfortness and what they're able to do. I try and take care of all the friction points that I possibly can with blockchain. And I think that play to earn is being done wrong in a lot of ways. Not saying that things are bad, but I think if I was to make a play to earn game and then say, guess what? You get these magic tokens that I just shit out. Like there's no value to them unless you do a bunch of other things, right? And so instead of doing that, because I'm not doing this for the money, let me use another token instead. And so I'm using the OMI token, which is the token that runs VV and some other things in like a bigger ecosystem. And so I know a lot of people that have that. And so they can use those tokens to play. Again, the Feeshe holders get 5 free matches a day. Anybody else that comes in and pays, 50% of that, we burn the tokens right off the jump. So it's making that token deflationary. 15%, so 1/5, goes into a global time-based pool. I would say monthly pool if you want to think of it that. But there's some tournaments that'll be like, it's a 2-week tournament or whatever. So whatever the current pool or event system, that's 15% that goes in there. And so the top players will get a slice. Then also randomly, X amount of people, there's a tokenomics system with all the details, but on top of the top players, what if I suck? I don't think it's fun. If I suck, why would I keep playing? So there's also every match that you play, in addition to having a fun match, it's also like a lottery ticket where you can randomly win prizes each month. So the more that you play, the more chances you have to get those random prizes as well. Outside of that, every Feeshe holder, there's a 20% daily income or daily stake. So whatever comes in that day, 20% goes to Feeshe holders that played a qualifying match that day. And so if I'm a Feeshe holder and I show up and I play a match, I'm now a part of the group. If I skip a day, then I don't get that day's reward. But whatever comes in, 20% goes right back daily. It'll probably be paid out weekly though, every single day. So every week, at the end of the week, you'll get a payout for all the days that you played a qualifying match. And on top of that, the remaining 15% goes globally to everybody else that played. So if I play a qualifying match, and whether I've got a Feeshe or not, there's another 15% split of everything that came in that day. So if you add up that money, I'm making 0% off the game because I don't care. It's not about the money. So I made a fun game that then also plays into this OMI, and then people can play, have fun. There's also wager matches. So if you and I just really need to settle a dispute, logically the only place to do that is inside this arena. And so we can play to see who wins. And I can say, you know what, I'll bet you $100. You put in $100, and then it plays out. And through smart contract stuff, the winner will then get paid 90% of the wager. 10% goes into that global prize pool. So again,
hold on a second. You're saying you can actually wager on here your Mech versus the other Mech?
Correct, if you choose to. So there's like ranked, unranked, and then wager matches, and they're kind of 3 lanes to think about that all feed into a bigger system. But yeah, everything that comes in either gets burnt or goes right back out through prizes.
So how long has your ecosystem or your NFT has been out? Like, how long has that been?
Since November. But again, instead of going like, hey, I want to do this, like it's going to sell out and hype the shit out of it and people rush in, like it's slow rolled, just month over month. We kind of double what we were doing every couple of months, and it just keeps going. Yeah. So
I mean, you've
been doing hype. It's about constant value, and then people who enjoy it then go and tell more people, and then those people come in, experience it, and go. So like,
your project's got tons of things happening, and it's only been out for a few months. It's only been out
like
7 months,
5
or 6 months. It's like that's wild. There's projects out there that have been out for way longer and don't even have half the things that your project is doing right now.
I delivered the tanks before I asked for any, like it was already ready to go. So like I did the work up front because I didn't want anybody, I wanted immediate utility and then utility all the way down. And originally the game wasn't going to be play to earn, but people kept asking. So I went and designed a system that made sense, where it was actually based off something of value. So have a fun game, pay in if you want to kind of participate in the prizes, and then it all just goes right back out.
So some would say, you just use the word value. Some would say, and I think a lot would say, and I would be in this camp, that your time has value. So
Sure.
why are you dead set on like not making money off of something that you're providing value to people for?
Because he's secretly Batman.
Yes. Well, we're not supposed to talk about that. But yeah, I make money off the Feeshe, right? So you're buying that ticket to ride. Everything else is free. Of course, I could I'd be like, yeah, 50% of the game comes to me. Ha 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 ha. Like, but I just want to push the envelope. I just want to keep going and say, you can do it different. Everyone coming in told me like, you're doing NFTs wrong. You're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. But the people that are participating in the project disagree with them wholeheartedly. They often say they're rugging me instead of me ever rugging them, which one time I airdropped a rug just as a funny joke. But yeah, that was free too. But yeah, so it's about giving these people an experience that they'll never forget about the time their NFT fish swim around and they enjoyed it. They interacted with it every day. They got points. It turned into a game. It did other things that I'm not going to talk about here that are coming. There's an inventory management system coming, like an old school adventure game. That's where you can combine airdrops into different things to unlock more things. Just all kinds of stuff. I just think that you can do it different, and I'm proving it little by little.
That's super dope. So let me ask you this: when you look at the NFT space, give me an example of where you think it's winning, and like an example of where it's like excelling as an ecosystem, and where we are just miserably failing.
I think that where it's winning probably the most is it's slowly doing things like what I'm doing every day with my project. It is changing the landscape of what an IP can be. It's changing the landscape of what ownership can be, what community can be, what an idea can be. I think I mentioned this just with some friends we were chatting. I think that like eventually we're going to hit this like .com crash with NFTs, and and the .com crash though took years to recover from. I think it's going to be months for the NFT space. And people think it's going to be this doom and gloom. The reason is because we're all going at like 4,000 miles per hour. When one project like screws up, the next one's already working. Like, what's the fix? Let's do it. So it's constantly self-healing itself. And I think that is the benefit, is that it's moving so fast, but everyone's so passionate and driven, aside from like cash grabs and scams, right? But like for the ones that are actually trying to do the thing, they're learning at light speed. And from that, being so connected, being on Twitter, building this like new culture of how we connect to each other, that is the huge benefit, I think. The flip side, or what's the lowest? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say the thing that's the counteract to that, I think, is because it is so easy to fake good, you get a lot of scams and you burn a lot of people, and people are paying very, very expensive educations. And I think that's probably the downside, but that comes with a lot of things. So whenever some new thing emerges, the old school scams just mutate into the new thing. And so that sucks right now. But hopefully the other side, the ones that stick around, that get burnt and learn, are going to fall into the other camp where we're just compounding faster and faster with making really, really amazing things.
Man, I completely agree with that. The whole 4,000 miles per hour going, and just recovering faster is the same thing as when people talk about crypto and how volatile it is. It's like, oh no, I'm not going to be in crypto. I'm going to get in stocks and whatever. It's like, dude, you crypto might be volatile. We might drop drastically when the fog around the world started. That happened. But what was the first thing to recover? It was crypto. Bitcoin was leading the charge. It was up at $9,000 in May when things were still terrible in the stock market. So you have a great point there with the NFT market. Yeah, the NFT market, I've said before as well, is going to have some type of crash where it's going to filter out the majority of the trash that exists in it. But it will recover, and whether it's quicker than crypto or not, I'm not sure, but it could definitely be, because NFTs are just so different from cryptocurrencies in of themselves that it's a whole different world out there, and I definitely think they're going to bounce back and continue having a future.
Yeah, I've been surprised.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've been surprised at how I thought for sure, because I'm crypto first and then came into the NFT space. I thought for sure, because the NFT space was purchased in cryptocurrency, that for sure, like, it was going to be all crypto heads in the NFT space. And what I'm starting to learn is there's a lot of people that are literally here for, when we said, in 2017, we're here for the movement, right? As it relates to crypto, there are people that like, hey, I'm here for the art, or I'm here for the creativity, or I'm here for this, or I'm here for that. And it's not just the crypto space. It is genuinely people that are just here for the NFTs,
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that some people get turned off and or think that it's just like a fad, because they look at the JPEGs, right? I think those are the ones that look at it surface level and turn their nose up, and they're missing the fact that we're connecting more. People are more real to themselves. Like I was consulting with a company, and they wanted people to pay like $4,000 to come and get their face scanned to go into metaverses. And I'm like, I'm sorry, like today we're good. I'll tell you whatever you want to know, but I'm out, because I think you've really got this wrong, and I just don't believe in it. And here's why. And I don't believe that people want to be themselves in a metaverse. I think that people want to be a cartoon cat or a person in a luchador mask or whatever. Like, they want to be their true selves without the scrutiny, but then they're able, and it's beyond that though, because then they're able to connect with other real people and make these connections, and eventually do business or interact or have closer friendships than they will with other people. And it's not about hiding. It's about finding a place that you can actually be like, you know what, this is an exact representation. I could never have the words or the language to say this is who I am until I found this, right? And the flip side is, now I can own a part of it too. Like, I can create a new brand. Like, there's somebody that is going to have ape number 9030, and not only is that them, but they're going to pass that down to their kids, and their kids are going to pick up the mantle like somebody picks up Batman's mantle, right? Like, it's all of these things, and we're not seeing it, because the old guards of like Disney makes all the content or Marvel does all of this are missing the point that we are now going to start to see new IPs and new generational IPs get crafted out of this, because the people are coming and the ideas and the creativity are coming, and that's part of it. Like, so I think you framed it up really, really well, of like, I'm trying to push what an NFT can be. It's more than a JPEG. It's more than an avatar. It can be anything. It's like an idea in your head. Like, it's yours in your head, and it can take whatever form you need it to. And so can NFTs. And so we're just getting started, and you're going to see it shapeshift. And eventually it'll be the point where we don't have to say it's an NFT. We just expect it, because we want ownership, and it just matters. It stops being about the technology, and it just becomes what it is. And that's that turning point that's coming.
So do you think that we're headed into like a player one ready universe at some point? And if you do, how far out do you think that is?
At some point, but I think people that are setting themselves up to like expect that in a few short years are setting themselves up for major disappointment. I think that metaverses right now, like, so if we're really Web3, we have to do everything that Web2 does and better. And so I was having a similar conversation today, that like these metaverses right now, they're all becoming siloed. And we need it to be where I go through a portal, and it can take me to Frogland, or it can take me to the other side. It's links like on a website, but it links from a metaverse. And if we can't replicate that, we're reinventing multiplayer gaming, right? Like, that's not Web3. It needs to be further. It's not a metaverse. That's just a game. And so I think that the foundational, the protocol stuff needs to be built out, and that'll be probably part of this, like, next, like, when this thing crashes, that's where people will kind of sink their time to make it really the thing that we wanted all along.
You know what I think you said that really resonated with me is, you said, I don't know that I think people want to be themselves in the metaverse. And at first, when you first said that, I was thinking, well, wait a minute, I don't want to be anybody but myself. But I think I hear what you're saying. And it's more of, we can make connections with people on a different level, not based on how old we are, what we look like, any of those characteristics. It's like, hey, this guy, this girl, whatever the case may be, is just freaking awesome, and I resonate with what we're talking about, and the topics that we get into, and just the person to person interaction that we have. None of the other stuff matters. It just doesn't. So I think that's a really good way of looking at the space as a whole. I think that we could see that definitely. I think
as much as piggybacking on that, like, as much as it puts up a facade in a way, it also removes a lot of the bullshit. They're like, oh, it's just a cartoon cat. That's just who they are. But they also do these things. And on chain, I know that they've done X, Y, and Z, and they can prove it. And so I don't give a crap about their what their legal name is or where they live. Like, it has the opportunity to really remove biases and just get to the heart of things. Now, with technology, it also has the opportunity to lock in biases if done wrong. So it's something that we're going to have to really, really be cautious about. But yeah, no, it's less about, again, like as I said, like hiding, and more about being more transparent. And I think that's where people get it a little bit twisted about what a metaverse can and should be.
I love it. I like the way you're expanding your mind and really thinking outside the box. Miguel, let's you want to do this giveaway here, brother? I don't know if you've
the giveaway is timed to be exactly
okay. What do you got?
Exactly after the show is over.
All right, after the stream. Okay.
So yeah.
Just as a reminder, everybody, what time did you set it for, Miguel?
For an hour after, so it'd be about 8:30 when the giveaway would be
so
done.
Between now and 8:30, if you're not already in the Discord, in our Discord in Danger Close Alpha, make sure that you guys get in there. Also, Brock, we put your Twitter down below the video. We should probably put your Discord down there too. So if you want to send us that, we can drop that for you. But you said the easy way to get you on Discord is, what is it?
Feeshecord.com. So Feeshe, like the name of the FEESH cord.com. Feeshe cord. It's just easier than like giving some Discord link. But yeah, I'm pretty approachable. Hit me on Twitter, hit me on whatever. I'll give you whatever links you need.
That's super dope. Yeah. So
I also want to talk. Sorry to cut you off. But yeah, I like the point that you made about the Web 2 versus Web 3 and the metaverse being interconnectable and, really working together. Because I do agree with that. I do think that a lot of metaverse stuff right now is a lot of crap because we're just being built into these games. And it's like Call of Duty right now is a metaverse, right? We're all inside here and we all just play here. So Decentraland, the other one, Sandbox and whatever, they're building their own little echo chambers and they're calling it a metaverse. It's like, it's not really a metaverse if you're not connecting one to the next. And these NFTs are able to pass from one metaverse to the next metaverse and in between these different blockchains. And now we're just continuously doing the same mistakes that we already have in the crypto space as well, which is these blockchains do not talk to each other. They're all just completely isolated planets floating in space. And so are these metaverses. So I do completely agree with you that we do need to connect all these metaverses to be able to move past the stuff and really into Web 3.
So did you buy that domain and then it directs to your Discord?
Yeah.
Dude. That's deep, but yet very straightforward. And I think we might need to steal that, Miguel. That's actually really good. That's a really good. That's all about. Idea.
I think it's just all about making it easier. I think right now blockchain's hard enough, and so trying to, just try and make it lower the bar a little bit for people that, again, like I said, people that have been their first NFT ever. I'm honored in that, but I want to try and make it as frictionless as possible. So like you mint, that's the hardest thing, hopefully, that you'll have to do. The rest is pretty much a cakewalk. And then people in my Discord, again, that community, we're talking like before we jumped on, like my Discord, the community that I've kind of slow rolled, it's unreal how awesome they are. And they, even if I'm sleeping, the couple hours that I sleep, they jump in and they're like, oh, you're trying to mint here, and here's a screenshot I took and it should look like this. And like they're walking each other through. And I think it's because when I kind of dedicate time to help one or two or three even like do a thing, now they're more comfortable, they're more ready to kind of share that knowledge. And so it's this constant like leveling up that everyone does, and just insane to see.
So let me ask you this before we kind of close out the stream. If somebody's new to the crypto and especially the NFT space, let's focus on the NFT space because that's what we've been mostly talking about.
Sure.
If somebody's new to the NFT space, what kind of suggestions would you give them to be able to get more involved in the space and also protect themselves at the same time? Because there's a lot of just crap out there, right?
Yeah. I think that it's just be cautious, right? Like I think a lot of these projects make sure that if you're buying a picture of an elephant, or I joked once that a picture of a space pig, that you really, really like that picture of a space pig, because at the end of the day, that might be the only thing you get out of the deal. Space pigs are for life. This started off as a joke that I said on a stream that I then airdropped space pigs to everybody. So it's just I think that make sure you know what you're getting into, because there are some times where it is just a picture, and look into the team. For a lot of people will say, like, look and make sure that they're doxxed. I'm wearing a mask, right? Like, it doesn't matter who I am. I wanted the work and the value that I put in to speak for it. But not all projects are like that. Sometimes they will say, you pay me up front and then I promise later to do whatever. And you crunch the numbers. And you're like, okay, so after I make you $3 million, now you're going to probably deliver. How motivated are you going to be when you've already got cash in hand? Like, there's just a lot of things to consider. And so I would say, if you're new to the space, chill, just wait. The community should be there for you and all of that. And they shouldn't pressure you into sales. Don't go chasing green candles. Don't go chasing the latest trend. Find something that makes sense to you, or something that actually makes you excited or passionate, because then at least you know off the bat you're getting some value. And after that, then once you kind of start to learn MetaMask or start to learn how to transfer things and other things, once you feel more comfortable, you start to kind of judge, oh, I believe this or I believe that. But we saw it the other day, like one of the biggest projects in the space, like I haven't heard a single person say how happy or excited they were for how the process went. And so it's just everything is kind of starting to grow from here. And there's going to be this controlled burn, right? Like a forest, for them to thrive, they have to burn out all the underbrush and stuff like that. And that makes space for the other ones to kind of grow. And so it's super early, but I don't mean that in like the meme sense. I mean that the landscape that you see today will not be the landscape 6 months from now. It won't be the landscape a year from now. It's going to look totally different. So rushing in or feeling like you have to emotionally dive in now, it's now or never, is a lie. So chill and just take your time, because nothing, if for some reason you miss this one, there'll be other ones. Just wait. Because if you're rushing in, it's going to be a costly lesson.
I mean, people might have made or had the opportunity to make a ton of money last night off of the apes, land sale, if you will. But it was a freaking nightmare. We talked about it on Around the Blockchain tonight.
Gas price was $5,000.
Thousands of dollars, and they were getting, and a lot of the transactions were getting denied. Taco on the stream tonight he said he had 0.7 left over in that wallet. And he put it. That's what he put as his gas, right? He put it up to 0.7. People were bidding up so high that the 0.7 got freaking the transaction got rejected. That's like $2,100 or whatever. I was beside myself. Now they say that they're going to rectify, that they're going to pay these people back. The reality is, the problem that I had with it, that I was talking about earlier, is that all they had to do was set up the mint differently. They could have had timed mints where
they did it on purpose. They did it.
I believe. But that's what I'm saying. I think that it was absolutely planned. They knew that the hype was going to be insane no matter what price they put it at, because at the point that you have a $450,000 monkey on your freaking background of your computer or whatever, people are going to pay $5,000, what's essentially $5 grand, $6 grand, whatever it is, for this metaverse land that they might be able to build on. And that's hot anyway. They knew what they were doing. I have a real problem with that. I think that they are taking advantage of an ecosystem. They also, to be fair, though it's marketing genius, if you will, it's super shady too. They said, oh, let us announce let us release this token. Then a couple weeks later, we'll say, oh yeah, by the way, the land that we're releasing, you can only pay for it with that token that we just released. You know what I mean? And then it pushed people to go nuts with that. That token, then after it went nuts, dropped. Who do you think was selling the top of that token? Was selling the top of the actual NFT assets? Was selling the top of the, what ultimately is going to be the land? I don't know. I have a problem with some of that's part of the reason why with our project, Miguel, we've talked about this a lot. We want to provide a real life utility to where you're going to learn something that has real life applicable use, to where your family is going to benefit from you learning that. And once I learn something, you're not taking it away from me. Right. And I think with things like that, the utility becomes, well, what can I do with it while I'm on the internet, or what can I do with it here? But without it, what have you done? Have you learned something from this? And I think it's cool. It's one of the things that it sounds like you're doing, Brock. You're like giving people an experience. And an experience is what I will spend money on. I will spend money to go on vacation. I will spend money to say, hey, you know what? That's freaking fun. I'm willing to pay for that. And I think that's what it sounds like you're doing as well. And I applaud you. It's awesome.
I think it just like I can't guarantee you that the NFT itself is going to 10x. Like I can't.
Right.
But I'm pushing for you to feel 10x the value of the experience. And so airdrops. Everyone's an executive movie producer for a movie that just raised like $1.4 million and is being sought after by like. There's all these small things that I'm doing that you wouldn't maybe have expected from a Feeshe project, but it's there, right? And it's in the portals, all these things. I'm constantly just trying to push the envelope to do the most. And even those airdrops that I'm giving away for free, somebody bought one for half an Ethereum because it was like a super rare one. And some of them trade on the Discord, but then other people go and just buy straight off OpenSea.
Right.
And so some people are making their money back in the free airdrops for things that they don't care for. They get duplicates for because it's one airdrop per Feeshe. So if you have 5 Feeshe, you get 5 items, and they're all random from a pool of things that you can get each month. And then pushing it further, the secondary market, getting a royalty off of that. I pulled it down to 5%, but I take that 5% that I make and I go and sweep the floors, and then I give away the items because, again, you paid me already for the Feeshe. Everything else goes right back in some way. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to do that. Not everyone, like some people want to take that money and reinvest into whatever. But for me, it's just about giving everything as much as I can back to make sure that everyone has the best experience possible.
Well, I commend you, man. I
awesome.
I think that's awesome. There's nothing more you can say. That's freaking awesome. So,
thanks,
Crypto fam, if you guys are not following Brock McBlockchain, jump in his Discord, buy some Feeshes, follow him on Twitter, do what we would ask you to do, and that's give him some love.
If you haven't entered the giveaway, this is your chance, guys. This is your chance to get a Feeshe. Join the Discord. Jump in there, react to the giveaway bot, and you have the chance of winning a Feeshe tonight.
That's right.
And like Nick said, go follow Brock McBlockchain on all his socials, Twitter, and his Discord. Definitely, this is a project you want to be following.
We appreciate you coming on, man. And Crypto fam, I just want to tell you guys, as always, we love you. If nobody's told you that before today, we do. We appreciate you. We love you and appreciate all the support. Just remember to question everything.
Trust nothing.
And until next time, hodl
like a top.
We'll see you soon.
See ya.